Alright, so I'm going to do another cult song. Haven't done one for a while. And we're going to do Firewoman. But the twist is here is like, because you can get like tons of these like all over the place. We're going to convert it from the electric to an acoustic with open chords and a nice easy way to play. If we run through, let's run through the chords first, and then some of the intro and main riff kind of like stuff afterwards, and then we're going to switch over to the acoustic for the big bit. So I mean the original song, the intro, after it does which we'll do afterwards, I'll show you that at the end as a bonus. It starts off the song's basically in D, and it's D power chord, so either you can just play like with these two, basically on the 5th and 7th, or you can try and bar this one as well, which I do with my little pinky. And basically I'm just playing these 3 strings. And it goes back from a C to a D, from a D to a C, sorry. Then it does a C over B, which sounds complicated, but basically you're just taking this finger here and moving it back to cover that B note on the A string. So you know that's the 5th string, 2nd fret. Back to that C, and then in the intro he plays half and then G. So let's just play that through slowly. He plays that twice. The difference between that and the verse is basically you don't play that G again afterwards, you know. So watching that G, you just stay on that C. So play it through again slowly. Got it? Really simple. Plays that through twice, and then we have like this pre-chorus. So he plays this D power chord, which is basically, but you can actually hold this. The E string can come in if you wanted to. You don't have to be that clear about it. So we're talking about that D power chord, which is just that D with the open E. If you play it this way around, then you might say it like this. I just tend to D. Right. Got over the D thing? Yeah. D, F power chord. Basically, you know, instead of like barring playing an F major, I'm just hitting these bottom 3 strings. Slide it up to G. And then back to the F. So it's F, G, F. He plays that through twice. And then we've got the chorus. So the chorus is a little bit different because he's playing full bar chords. And he's starting with a D major. We're playing that on the 5th string, A shape, and he's going to add in these little susses all the time. So this finger's going to go on this B string, the 1, 2 string, next to where the bar is. Back to the C, to a G major. This is where it gets a little bit tricky because basically I want to put my finger like in here. In the middle. I've seen people play a whole different bunch of ways because it's got large amounts of distortion. And in any case, we want to look at the acoustic version. I'm not going to get too much into it, but back to that C. Round 2 starts the same. slide up to an F. Okay, so basically it's that A shape starting on the 8th fret. Then we need to complete it, so we go back to that G. And finish on that C again. Let's play it through really slowly. So it's the D, C, G, C, D, F, G, C. All right. Again, let's gloss over this intro part just before you get into the chords. So basically, what we're playing is we're playing the 6th, 4th, and 3rd for most of this. We start off with a really simple one. We put our finger on the 6th string on the 3rd fret, and we play those 3 notes. Basically, I'm going to move my finger down one. So I'm on the 5th now, and now I'm going to play the 5th, the 4th, and 3rd. And remember that D power chord that we were playing in that pre-chorus? Yeah? And then we're going to play the second part of it, which is basically I'm covering the 5th and 4th string on the 3rd fret. I'm still playing 5, 4, 3. And then I'm going to cover just the 2nd. So I'm going to slide back and then the rest are open again. 5, 4, 3, D. That D power. Now I'm going to go back to the original one again, which I'm covering the 6th string. So I'm playing 6, 4, 3. 5, 4, 3 with, on the 3rd fret again. And that D power chord. And now I'm going to play that, I call it a Green Day G, or an AC/DC G. So basically I'm covering on the first 2. I'm playing almost a full G. But I'm not going to use this finger, but I am going to mute this string here. So it's, and I'm going to play one big downstroke and then twice again. And then you get back, then you get into the song. Okay? And then if you want to put in inflections of that, you know, that lead line that's running through most of it. So basically, we're on the 3rd string. Just 3rd string. Yeah. And it starts off on the 5th, 7th, 10th, 7th. You want to maybe add a little bit of tremolo, like vibrato here and here. So. And then I'm going to switch up to the 2nd string and play it on the 8th, the 6th, the 5th, and twice on the 5th on the 3rd string. So all together. And then when it gets to the end, like, and he wants to finish it off, the last note is on the 7th again. Okay? The interesting part is to take all of this heavy metal rockness and beautiful sound, and put it on a acoustic guitar and see how it sounds. So let's switch guitars. I'll see you back here in a second. Alright, so we've taken the Fire Woman by the Cult and we've translated it onto an acoustic guitar, which sounds absolutely wonderful and really nice, and it's actually really simple to play. And in some cases, it might actually be easier to play than the electric version, but it's really nice because someone throws you an acoustic. I'm playing it on 12 string because you can play it on a regular. No need for a capo, no need for anything in particular. You can just rattle it off and start going. If you want to see the intro, then check out the electric one, because I'm not going to go through that again. What I want to do is I want to translate the rest of the song into an acoustic. So on the electric, we were doing this. In that intro, so I'm going to translate that directly. So we know that this is a D, and we know that most of the time he's playing this power chord anyway, so I'm going to do exactly the same. So I'm playing a D without the bottom E, without the first string covered at all. So it's open. And then this is C. That's quite simple. You can play it as a full C. As you can hear, like sometimes I play it without this middle finger on, so it gives it that 5 inflection. Doesn't matter. That's C over B. I've done this on a number of tutorials already, so you can go and check it out, but it's really simple. Basically, I just want to move this finger back to the B position and just remove this one, okay? Which is awkward to do it like this. So basically what I do is I just switch. So I take this off and I switch this up one. It's actually a really simple like progression. Back to the C. And then a G. So I'm going to show you a trick here, like if you want to do a quick C to G transition. So if you imagine you're playing like your normal C, so you've got like, and I want to get into a G, instead of switching my fingers, so like I'm moving, what I do is I normally play a G with my third finger. So all I'm doing is these two fingers are moving up, and then I'm adding the pinky. Yeah? And it's going to come in really handy a bit later in the song. So if you can get used to doing this way, and then back to the C, and I've got the same thing. I just take the pinky off and I drop these down, and I'm on the C. Or the C5, whichever one you prefer. And then, so let's play that through again. So we're playing the D, C over B, C, G. Yep, so he plays that through twice. And then the difference between the intro and the verse, and I've mentioned this before, is that basically there's no G at the end, just hold the C. So it's C, D to C, B over C, C over B, I was supposed to say. Do it one more time so I can be clear. D, C over B, C. Plays that through twice. This is the only point where you're going to actually need to play a bar chord, not a bar code, in the pre-chorus. So I'm back on that D again. F. Some people play it with just the bottom string, so like this. Some people use their thumb. Whichever you find comfortable. I find the full one comfortable. So go back. C, D, F, G, and F. He plays that through twice. Incidentally, if you're really more comfortable this way, you can play the D, F, G, F. because I'm using a 12 string, I like the open chord, so that's why I'm using the G, regular G chord. And then we're into that chorus, which is the. So we're going to play this in a much simpler way. This is where the song becomes easier on an acoustic even. Starting off that same thing. And there's my 5 inflection by adding my pinky on that first string. C. I'm going to play a full C. And this time I'm using my pinky on the second string, on the B string. G. Remember I told you why I would do the G like this way? Well, this is where you can get the 5th in, because the 5th, let's try and zoom in, is where I want to be here, right here. I want to be on that second string on the 1st fret, which you'll never be able to do if you're playing it the other way around. And then back to that C. Let's play that first part through again. Yeah? And then the variation the second time round is, instead of that C on the second, you're doing an F. So let's have a look at this again. So it's D, F. If you wanted to, you could try and... It actually doesn't do it that often on the record. And then we need to finish off with that G and C. C. So I'm going to play it through again one more time so you can see it all the way through. D, C, G, C, D, F, C, G, C, and that's it. That's the whole song on an acoustic. It's really nice. You can play it like anywhere you are. Let someone just throw you an acoustic and you're up and running. Yeah, let me know what you think. I mean, I really love doing this stuff, and when I see the likes and the comments, and it really gives me like the motivation to go on. The subscribe is absolutely amazing. So, you know, like, subscribe, hit the bell, give me comments, give me some suggestions. I'm looking for new songs to play all the time. Yeah, let me know what you think in general. Have a great day.